Hello and welcome. Being a pen tester, you must possess and approach both methods, going through a vulnerability scanner to find the vulnerabilities and navigating each URL one by one. Because sometimes you will find that vulnerability scanner will not be able to find the vulnerability. Here I have come up with a similar example, that is the TikiWiki vulnerability. TikiWiki is a content management system, CMS, that is a web applications. So manually navigating TikiWiki web page reveals that this had the version 1.9.5 and the vulnerability that was found for the TikiWiki was in the version of 1.9.8. So at that case, the vulnerability scanners will not be able to find the vulnerability because they find vulnerability with the version numbers published over the internet. This is the reason you must approach both methods, going through a vulnerability scanner and manual assessments as well. So the TikiWiki web applications have the version 1.9.5. So let's fire up a Metasploit and search for the vulnerability. Simply type the search and the TikiWiki. You can also perform a simple search on the exploit DB and the bug track. Here you can see there are more exploits for the TikiWiki and all those are excellent exploits. Let's take an exploit and see the information about the exploits. So at this point I will use exploits. Exploits have been loaded. Now we need to set the target host, that is our host. In my case it is 192.168.64 and 130. That is running on that web page, that is OWASP vulnerable web applications. Now we need to type the local host. Lhost is in the same network, that is 131 at last. Now type show options to see another requirements. Here you can see everything is set and the proxies are not required. If you want you can set for the proxy. I will use payloads. So using a payloads, type show payloads. It will show all the compatible payloads with a specific exploits. I will use my favorite one, that is Metasploit reversal. And luckily this is the best part, that this exploit have a Metasploit payloads with the PHP options, so that it will be supporting and executing all the commands. Set payloads and the payload name. Now the payload is set. Now there is another options. If you want to check for the vulnerability is exploitable or not, you can check with a command, that is check. Metasploit will check if the target is vulnerable and exploitable or not. As you can see, the target appears to be vulnerable. Now we need to type exploit to exploit the target to get a Metasploit session. Great, the exploitation was successful. At this point, we have successfully exploited the TikiWiki web applications, and here is the proof, that is the database username is the TikiWiki and the password is also TikiWiki with the default credentials. A point here is to note that this exploit was for the TikiWiki version 1.9.8, but the target was 1.9.5. It means that we can attack all the targets version earlier to publication of the vulnerability date. Now we have a Metasploit session. Now we can execute everything. Simply type help and it will show all the commands that we can execute on the target system, in this case the target web applications. So what I will do here is simply get a shell prompt. It will throw a shell prompt from the target. Process has been created. Now let me type who am I. Here you can clearly see it is the www data directory of the web applications. Now here the ping command will also work. We can do almost everything that the Metasploit supports, like killing a process, getting a process lists and getting a user ID, typing sysinfo. Here you can see the system information is operating system is OS running on the Ubuntu based Linux with the time and date. Now it's time to get a process list. Simply type ps. It will show all the processes that are running on the target system, target web applications. All these are the processes running on the target sites. Now here you can do an interesting thing, as this is the part of the post exploitation module. But here I am showing you one interesting thing, that we can upload anything to the target web applications and execute from the internet. Like simply what I will get is files to upload on the target server. I am going to upload a web page that is of my web page, and it will be accessible on the target side. Now the web page has been saved with the index.html format. Here you can see this is the index.html. Now I will upload this file to that server with the upload command of the Metasploit session. Go back from here, typing exit, type the command upload and the name that I am going to upload. Let me first move to that window and type the index.html. To see, this is not working at this time because I have not uploaded yet. After uploading, you can clearly see this has been uploaded. Now I will move to Windows page and let's type it. Great. You can see the file has been uploaded to the target system on the web applications, and now it is accessible from there. Similarly, we can upload a PHP shell to get access at any time, even after the Metasploit session has been closed. This is the type of attack that I am going to attack at the penetration testing. Simply find a version of the services, even if it is not vulnerable or vulnerable. It doesn't matter. Simply search for the vulnerability name with the version number on the Google search, bug track, exploit DB. If you find any exploits, you can exploit with the help of Metasploit or by going through a manual exploitations. And that's it. It doesn't take too much time. I will cover more things about Metasploit session and post-exploitation, what we can do after the exploitation has been completed and we have attacked the target system on the Windows system and on the web applications as well. So this was the exploitation of the web applications. We have successfully get a Metasploit session. We can do and play with all the Metasploit commands. I recommend you to play with all these commands after the exploitation has been completed. That comes in the post-exploitation, and learn from there what you can do after the system has been exploited or a web application has been exploited. Thank you.